Hello, this is Joe Perry, the Hebrew Hillbilly, coming at you with producer Jeeves over here. We're rocking and rolling. We're over here snapping necks and cashing checks. We just got cooking. We're just doing good. Hell of a day. Hell of a. It's Indiana. We it finally stopped, but literally I was waiting uh, to find out where where Noah was building that boat. We've had some really bad rain over the past week, a lot of flooding. It's been crazy. It's not the worst we've ever had, but kind of Indiana's weather goes in cycles, so it can usually be we'll have pretty good easy going winters for a couple of years, and then we'll have some horrible winters like one or two in a row, and then it'll be easy going. And it's been that way with the floods. I haven't seen floods like this since it's been a while. It's been a while. I'd say probably 10 years or so. But anyhow, we're all surviving. We're all doing good. Little damage to my house, but not much. I supposedly live in a floodplain, but
You live right on the edge of the
yeah,
floodplain,
it's
so
there's a big friggin' hill and I live on top of it. But yes, down at the bottom of that hill, there is a creek and some shit down there, and the bottom of that hill does flood, but the water's never been up to me. I had my yard this time got a little soggy. That was it. It was a little spongy in a couple of low places, but nothing to it. I was fortunate in that.
no.
My sister-in-law though she ended up with several feet of water in her house, and it's going to be a FEMA fix. I think the worst thing that happened to me was we caught a branch on our roof, and it's this last day we've noticed it started leaking right there. We actually had to put a little bowl right there. Uh, but it was where a branch hit the roof of my porch. So if that's the worst I'm going to get out of what some people, I mean, there were people in Muncie, and God be with them. I mean, I hate Muncie as far as that goes. Muncie is my, yeah, there, yeah. But that's just a competition between Muncie and Anderson. Uh, it's always been there, but God be with them. There were some people who died there. It was Muncie's the next town over from us, so there's always the sporting competition. The kids come. It's been there for generations, but to say I hate them is just, I don't hate them. They're obviously people, and but God be with them. And there were, like I said, there were a few casualties from what I understand in Muncie, and yeah, I just had some serious damage. My grandbabies live in Muncie too, so uh, yeah, God be with them. And but anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, and with everybody in Indiana who's been affected by this, in central and southern Indiana, and all over the United States. Anybody who's been affected by by the adverse weather we've had, God be with them, and I wish them all the best. Okay. Now, outside, who gives a shit? Piss on them as far as that goes. If you ain't American or Israeli, I really couldn't give a shit less. But no, I'm kidding on that one too, but not as much. It's yeah, there's a lot less give a shit there than there is for Americans or Israeli. But we'll leave that alone. Just trying to lighten it up a little bit. I saw an interview. Oh, sorry. It's been a couple of weeks since we did one of these. I went on vacation, and we had some technical issues one week, and then I went on vacation another week. So, but we're getting back into the swing of it. So this is a little dated, but it's still pertinent. I saw an interview with Elon Musk. I don't remember who it was. It was a couple of weeks ago. I almost said a couple of years ago. It was a couple of weeks ago. Go that way, that he did this interview with this. I don't know who the reporter was, but she was a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Twat. Yeah, she was just a really, really just objectionable person from what I saw of her. And she looked like Skeletor too. She did. She looked like somebody had stuffed a bunch of chicken bones into a trash bag. As far as she was just like emaciated, horrible. Uh, I likes my women with a little back on them. But anyhow, and she was just going after him and going after him, and he was just really counterpunching and staying way ahead of her. I mean, he would just punching his way out of the corner, and every time she'd come in and try to throw something, he was digging. It was good shots. And it dawned on me watching this interview. How is it that the richest man on earth is still the guy out there sticking it to the man? How is that? Okay, I don't get that. He's supposed to be the man. His entire thing with the whole Doge thing, the everybody seemed to be on the left seemed to be so just completely just opposed to. And I think most of that was just orange man bad syndrome, because I that whole Trump derangement syndrome thing. Oh yeah, blah. Hearing about that. Uh, because I mean, like I say, I'm skeptical, and I thought, well, but this, as I've moved away from CNN and MSNBC exclusively and started watching others, I've realized that I mean, it's crazy. And I will say there is some obsession on the other side. It's just like if you watched Fox News right now, you would literally believe that Zoran Mamdani was the overwhelmingly popularly elected king of the fucking universe. I mean, he was he's a mayor in New York who was literally elected by he picked up what, 2 million votes. There's 10 million people living in that city. So, and he won, that he won with 2 million votes. Think about that. That's 1 in 5 people bothered to get out of bed to do the one thing that I truly believe is their civic duty. I mean, I don't care how sick or broken I am. If I can vote, I'm going to vote. But 1 of 5 New Yorkers put him in that position, and there were other people running against him. So that shows you just how few people actually voted. There probably wasn't, all told, if he won at 1 in 5, then it was probably 25 to 28, maybe 30% of the vote of the people that live in New York actually voted. If he could win with 20%. So I mean, so that's incredible. Basically, a bunch of wine sipping Manhattan uh, 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 trust fund babies, and what do they call them? Uh, uh,
Champagne socialists.
yeah, champagne socialists. There was another one I heard the other day. The Marxist called them. Anyhow, somebody called them like uh anyhow, I don't remember, but it was basically a bunch of rich awfuls, which is affluent white female liberals. Uh, uh, that's what elected him. He's not that. But you watch Fox News, and it's like Zoran Mamdani, Zoran Mamdani, Zoran Mamdani, Zoran Mamdani. The guy ain't got any effect on my life here. I couldn't give a shit less about him. And as far as I'm concerned, I love New York, and New York's a wonderful city. But New York, you're getting what you deserve. If only 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 of you is out there actually voting for the guy who's going to literally make decisions for your life every day, and you just can't be bothered to go out and vote for somebody, then you pretty much are going to get what the fuck you deserve.
And I can already hear people fucking saying, "Oh, well, voting doesn't matter." One vote is a drop in a bucket, but a fucking votes is a fucking 100 drops in a bucket. If you don't vote, then it definitely doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's the point. And you hear people say it's, but that's that same defeatist. I had a nephew, he's dead. Who he gave me that defeatist bullshit all the time. That whole, well, the whole system's rigged against me. I can't do anything. Might as well not even. No. That's the point. The point is that you fight. The point is that you get up every day, that you make something of yourself. You know the system's rigged against you. The whole system's rigged against you. Life is rigged against you. I know life is rigged against you out there looking at me, because you are born dying, okay? You're not escaping from that. We're all dying. The whole system, yes, is rigged against us. It's not that that simply because you're not guaranteed success, that you shouldn't even bother to put yourself in there. It's a bad system. I guess it is.
Because
But
if you don't try, then you failed. If you did try and you did fail, at least you fucking
at
tried.
least you tried. But if you do try, there's a chance you may succeed, and that's a thing. But anyhow, the whole Doge thing, I don't even know how the hell we got off on that, but the whole Doge thing, that was literally just Elon Musk trying to root out where government was, where they could trim some fat in the government. And when he stumbled into US aid, and US aid wasn't the only one out there, okay? US aid just happened to be the biggest one, the one that they're using, but it is what us former criminals, like I said, I have reformed my life. I truly have, but it's what us former criminals refer to as a slush fund, okay? It's what's called payola. It is a laundromat is the best way to put that. Okay, what that means is that is where they take. Okay, this is how it works. This is how a dim-witted bartender from the Bronx, uh, who literally doesn't have the money to pay her own rent, suddenly becomes a congresswoman and then is worth what, 40, $50 million, or 20 or 30 million, however much. And oh, by the way, a congresswoman only, or congresswoman or congressman, I think they make look it up, producer Jeeves. I think the base salary of a congressman and a senator, look both of those up. But I think a congressman is like 240,000, and after 6 years, they're worth 20 or 30 million dollars. How I am a Jew and I'm not that good with numbers. Okay, there is no way in hell I'm going to squeeze. Uh,
The base annual salary for rank and life members of the United States Congress, both House and Representatives and the Senate, is 174,000, a rate that has been frozen since 2009.
no shit.
And what was the other one?
No, that's saying both of them, the House and the Senate. The House is the Congress. The Senate is, yeah. House is apportioned by population. The Senate is apportioned to per state, and the like we've had videos about that. The reason it's done so, or thus is so that the bigger population areas can't trample on the smaller population areas. But yeah, 174,000. That's a hell of a lot less than what I thought it was. I thought they made like 250,000.
250,000 is about what the speaker makes.
Okay, is that what it said on there?
It said like 229,000 for the speaker.
So the rank and file just makes 174. So how in the fuck can you make 174,000? Yeah, can you be a broke ass bartender, make $174,000 a year, and in 5 years be worth $20 million? Think about that. The way you do that, and it's not just Democrats. There's a reason he's named Cocaine Mitch. Okay, think about that. There's a reason. Okay, there's the you catch now. I will say, and I think it's only because Republicans don't stick together like Democrats do, which is good and bad. Uh, uh, a Democrat, literally, I mean, and I'm seeing it like crazy here lately. And it used to be something that I thought was great about their unity, but the fact that they're even following each other in their insanity off of the cliff, it just it's not such a good thing. I always thought, Democrat or Republicans are never going to get anything done because the dumb bastards won't ever. They spend more time fighting with each other than they do fighting Democrats. So I always thought that was an advantage for Democrats. But I honestly believe that that's actually a better thing for Republicans, because this whole fraud, waste, and abuse thing, USAID, like I said, was a slush fund. It's a laundromat. Uh, Democrats and Republicans were using. Uh, it was. It's there to. Like I say, it's okay. Explain to you how it works. Okay, they put the money. The government or earmarks money for this USAID to be used. What they do is these politicians go out. Politicians with names that rhyme with Schmo Schmazio Schmor Schmez, or Schmancy Schmalosi, or Schmuck Schmumer. Schmuck is actually works good for him. That fits. Or Schmo Schmain Schmitch Schmick Schmanuels. This is getting hard to say, but anyhow, these asshole politicians go out there and they make promises to their friends. They say, okay, here's how it's going to work. You somehow funnel money to me. You buy me. Here's what you do. There's this $2 million house in this neighborhood. I want you. You got a buddy that works in banking. I want you to buy that house for me. Put my name on it, and then pay it off. And then in 6 weeks, I'm going to sell that house for profit. And then I'll be able to take that money that from the sale of that house and put it, keep it for myself to do whatever I want with. And in turn, for you doing that, that will be your contribution to my campaign or whatever. So when or when you do that for me, you've got this project over here in whatever the hell land. I need you to get your people to apply to USAID for a grant for that project. You gave me $2 million, which is we'll consider that the vigorish. Your profit from that $2 million will be $10 million. So every $2 million you funnel to me, through some barely legal means, I'm going to give you in government grants $10 million for that. So it's a 5-to-1 return. And that's how they do it. That's how these people get a contract for this shit. Because they were able to buy this politician this or that politician that or whatever, and involve them in this business, put them on the board of this business, have okay, you got a job here now because you're on the board of shyster, and fuck you. And they're gonna be out there advising these different companies for $20 million a pop, and your share of that is $500,000, senator. So there you go. And then boom, they're like, okay, well, since you did that, now USAID, because I've got $20 million from you, USAID is going to give you $100 million grant to study better ways to circumcise fire ants. Something stupid. Yeah, like that one that was, what was that one? It was transgender musicians. Some woman was getting 20 or $30 million a year from USAID to study transgender musicians in Mongolia. I'm not shitting
Oh,
you.
I
That was real.
remember
Yeah,
that fucking thing. I
yeah, that was
remember.
real. That
Oh
happened.
my fucking god! I remember fucking
Yeah.
Hero Hay went over that shit, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
And like I said, I don't believe now. I believe the rank and file because I don't know how so many mentally ill fucking people got out there. I really don't. But I was starting to watch
Social
it.
media.
Yeah, I was starting to watch that, and no, I mean I'm seeing it in real life. I'm actually seeing people out there that they look like they're just in, because you think it's social media. These are a few individual cases. There's not a great number of these people that are out there like those 300-pound gummy bears with the green hair that are out there screaming at fat 300-pound fat just white women with green and purple hair that are screaming at black people about how the black people are racist and they hate black people. Just stupid fucking people doing stupid things. But there are people out there, you can just kind of see them. There's a lot more of them than they're not as prolific as they're made out to be, but there are a lot more of them than you think there are.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the reason there's so fucking many of them is because they're from like around my fucking generation and a little bit above and like a little bit above.
Yeah.
We've had too much fucking access to social media,
Mm.
and it's making people fucking stupid. People
Well,
are
and I think access to you've had no, I can't say access, but you've had you've been catered to too fucking much.
Mm,
I'm not, like I said, producer Jeeves is a great guy. My youngest son, great cat. He's got his shit together. Uh, uh, yeah, there are millennials out there that um that are some really, really squared away people. But I put millennials in with baby boomers in the fact that the overall of their generation is dog shit. The soul of their generation is dog shit. You can have good ones, but unlike like X and these Zers that I'm working with, especially the more I work with the Zers, the more respect I'm having for them because in general, they're pretty fucking squared away. They're not whiners like a lot of the millennial. We had a millennial on our job the other day, and this is, I don't know how the hell he made it through apprenticeship. I really don't, but he had some kind of an emotional breakdown, and I don't know what his issue is. But my dad was dying. My dad, the greatest man I ever met in my life, one of the most important human beings in the world. I got news that he was dying, and I just walked up to my boss. I said, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to come in today. I got to go home. I got my dad's sick." I don't know if this was what was going through with this fucking guy, but he wouldn't tell anybody. He just literally got out of his machine and went to his knees and started having a crying and shaking fit. And then all he would say was that he was just having an anxiety attack. Okay, now I don't know what the fuck's going on in your world that you can't keep your fucking head squared away. And if he has a genuine mental issue, that's something that he should probably look into. And I wish the best for him. But the problem is there's a lot of people out there that don't have genuine medical issues that do tend to ride the coattails of those who do, and that's
I
because you like Paris Hilton claiming that she had what was it? She had post traumatic stress disorder because I think it was because her parents bought her a red Mercedes instead of a gray one. I think it was, or it was her leather seats weren't heated, so she was now had post traumatic stress. Post traumatic stress means nothing anymore. It used to be something that soldiers that were diagnosed with so that you could get them help because of the fact that they spent entirely too much fucking time in combat and couldn't get their heads together. And that shit is absolutely fucking real. But I'm telling you right now, PTSD, because of the fact that you can literally go to a doctor and claim you have PTSD because mommy and daddy didn't buy you that fucking radio flyer wagon when you were 6 and you're still pissed about it. Kiss my ass, people. There are entirely too many people riding the fucking coattails. There are
yeah.
too many overly diagnosed. It's just like,
Self-diagnosed
yeah,
assholes. Well,
basically self-diagnosed narcissists,
yeah.
people who need a reason to not function.
As somebody
Okay,
who has actual anxiety, actual fucking Asperger's, it really fucking gets on my nerves when people self-diagnose themselves and then act like they're a fucking expert in
and then
something I actually have.
yeah, and but don't function like you do. I mean, yeah, there's sometimes you got to stop and take a few deep breaths.
Yeah.
There are times you've got to really concentrate to keep it, and that's cool. And I'm glad that you can do that. This is a man that's overcoming it. He's not sitting there and saying, "Oh, well, I can't do this and I can't do that because of this." Get the fuck over yourself, okay? That is such bullshit.
Yeah.
And how in the hell did we? Oh yeah, yeah. We were going back to the but yeah, yeah, slush funds and government will. That's I'm not even going to stay on that because I can literally spend three. How much time we got? We're going to go long
We
today.
got 30, 23 minutes.
23 minutes. Yeah, we're definitely going to go long because
It's been like fucking 3 weeks.
yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, this I keep getting off on these tangents, but there will be more talk about government slush funds and the fact that there are so many fucking people in this world that are just so wildly obsessed with Orange Man bad that they're gonna let this shit go. Just no matter what is if somebody is anti-Trump slash anti-Republican, they're gonna go. They're just gonna automatically believe everything they're saying. Or if there's somebody who's on the right and it's anti whoever is popular. The Democrats really ain't got anybody right now, but they're pro Trump basically Trump could come in and shit in the middle of a fucking of their kitchen table, and they'd thank him for serving them dinner. I mean, it's basically, there are people out there like that are just this cult of personality thing. No, he's still a politician. He's still fighting this. Half of this, it's not all Biden. Half of this inflation that we're dealing with is Trump's fault. The fact that he listened. Now, okay, people, well, he listened to Fauci. Yeah, well, he was the president. Okay, if you come in someplace knowing everybody's crooked and you still listen to them, what's that make you? Okay. Yeah, Fauci was a piece of shit, and we'll get into that. I mean, we might get into it today. That was something I was going to cover, but yeah, he's still responsible for it. He was still the man at the top. It's his Trump is what I'm saying. It's his mess, and he's doing a little to clean it up. Not what he ought to be doing, but hey, he bears just as much responsibility. But if what I'm saying about Trump offends you, if I say something that is could be considered pro-Trump in some of the things that he's doing, like his war with Iran, I think honestly he was a brave man for doing that, and it's a long time coming. I wish he'd do more in that too. But anyway, if those things offend you, then something you really need to look at is get away from this cult of personality thing. They're all politicians. None of them are good. They're not there to help you. Anyhow, yeah, millionaire bartenders and Nancy Pelosi literally outperforming the stock market for 30 years. How the hell you think she's doing that? It's insider trading, but it's just another way that they steal money. They don't just do it through slush funds. They use their power in government to make themselves rich. They always have. Uh, that was their problem with it. The reason the Democrats went after Elon Musk so hard was because they all had their finger in the till. The reason they're going after I can't remember his name because I will have to say since he's been in office. He's a senator here in Indiana, and since he's been in office, he has been just incredibly underwhelming in everything that he's ever done. He's basically a piece of white bread on a paper plate in a fucking snowstorm as far as any level of excitement. He's like watching a 6-hour video of somebody mating socks. But he does have a bill out there. He is which is why I can't seem to remember the damn guy's name. But he does have a bill out there to stop insider trading. We'll see if it happens. Yeah, that would be like, why don't he just add an amendment on there for term limits and yeah, no more hookers and cocaine. It'll be just as easy to pass that as it would be to pass yeah, the bill straight. Yeah, you're going to get senators and congressmen to literally cut their own sources of income.
Ironically, if you fucking put up a bill for no hookers and cocaine, that would probably fucking that wouldn't go through, and that would get more people fucking aware of how the government works.
Mm-hmm. A good idea. What is that senator's name? Well, yeah, you prick, you ought to watch this shit. You fucking
I know
public servant asshole. I can't remember his name, but yeah, we ought to suggest that to him to add the amendment for yeah or for banning hookers and cocaine and what was the other one I said? Oh, term limits.
Brian
Yeah.
Steele.
Huh?
It's being headed by Brian, or sponsored by Brian Steele.
U.S. House of Representatives Stop Insider Trading Act. Representative Brian Steele. No, Brian Steele ain't ours.
Okay, who is it then?
Indiana. Just look up Indiana senator. Senators, yeah.
Senator. Todd Young.
Todd Young. That's the douchebag. Yeah. Yeah, he's like I said, he's about the most underwhelming some bitch I ever seen in politics. He's like, I'm a veteran and I'm a this and I'm a that. He's rode the coattail. I don't know what. I think he did a tour with Starfleet or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he was an ensign in the Salvation Army. I don't know, or the Salvation Navy rather. I don't know. But anyhow, he's just a completely underwhelming pile of shit, and just like any other politician, he may be good for some things, but you know. He's been in several offices, so at this point he is a piece of shit. He's a fucking career politician. He's already turned to slime. Uh, yeah, all politicians are slimy, vile scumbags, and that's just the way it is.
And watch the last video we did if you want more on that.
Right there. Do we want to get on or get in our Fauci?
And have we gotten into Fauci?
I don't think we ever have done a Fauci, but yeah, he got his diaries released, and he got caught talking about how he liked being famous and all that. And yeah, he basically he's the fraud that he was. Okay, yeah, he was a bad person, but like I said, he implemented, he suggested, he was a tool in a government that used him. And this is the one thing, and I'm not going to lay it all on Fauci. Okay, Fauci was a slimy pile of giant, just oozing pus-filled shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like in other news, water is wet.
Yeah, but he was making suggestions. Okay, he literally didn't have the power. What we really need to look into, what really is what is the crux of the entire situation, is how these politicians were so. I mean, they were enamored of him, but I don't think they were enamored of him. I think that was an act for them. That was them playing up. Oh, Fauci, he's so wonderful, and introducing him to all their friends in Hollywood, and they're hooking him up with their $1,500 a night escorts and shit because they wanted him to be liked. They wanted to pretend they liked him, but what they really wanted was the fact that this guy was literally suggesting that I mean basically he was suggesting that the entire Constitution was written on a chalkboard, that they could make any changes that they wanted. It was crazy. They didn't like Fauci. This government didn't like Fauci. They didn't want Fauci. They didn't put Fauci in charge. They wanted that power. He gave them the excuse. He gave them the ability to reach in and rob you of the rights that God gave you. So it's the politicians, your governors, your local prosecutors, or what do they call them in some places? District attorneys, barrister, whatever the hell they call them. But your local politicians, your local police chiefs, your state governors, your local mayors, these people saw what Fauci was doing as a way for them to grab power.
And anybody who wants to fucking alter the Constitution, you should not fucking trust.
Yeah, well, that's a politician, and that just shows you this shows you the best of it. Well, the worst of it, but the best of it of what I'm saying when it comes to politicians all being slime bags. Fauci didn't. He wasn't going around arresting people on beach or for running alone on a beach in California, or he wasn't out there arresting people for fishing on a boat, one person at a time, or trying to throw people in jail for not standing 6 foot apart. He suggested it, but the politicians are the ones who jumped on that shit like a duck on a June bug, and uh, basically they were on it on all four tits and wasn't letting go, and that was their thing. Now there are good politicians that we had that initially jumped on it and said, hey, okay, this is what they're, but then as the studies started coming out, things were like, no, it's not right here, and then they got away from it. And of course, the CNNers and this is really what started to push me away from them, because I noticed they had their murder board for COVID clear up until Joe Biden was elected, and then pow, that thing went away. how many people died of COVID? How many people? And then they had this like a rolling ticker. But then as soon as Joe Biden got elected, okay, that goes away. No, never mind the COVID. No, it's all don't worry about it. And that really that was kind of the thing that really just done me in with CNN right there. And the of course the P tapes and the laptops and all that stuff and all the craziness. But we'll get into all that later. That'll come up. We're really leaning into politics. I don't know why, but there was a lot of political news. I will say this: I talked to my doctor. I have comorbidities. Okay, I have respiratory issues. I have pancreatic issues. Things like that it that made it more dangerous for me to get COVID. Now, I will say this: I was working in a transportation industry. I was working for the railroad. Y'all know that was one of the first videos I did. I'm not saying which railroad, but I worked for the railroad. I literally got COVID before people knew what it was. That before people were testing for it. I I was sick for 9 or 10 days, and I mean I was bad sick. I was using I have a breathing machine at my own house, and of course I have to take anti-inflammatories, a bunch of different. I have to take a lot more anti-inflammatories because I refuse to take any opioids. Uh, for for eh, for the pain that I have to deal with, but because I refuse to take anything that to alleviate the pain, they give me a lot of things to alleviate the swelling in the joints, which, you know, but because I take a lot of anti-inflammatories and I had a breathing machine, which I was literally using like crazy while I had this, then I started, oh, excuse me, about the time I started coming out of it was the time that they started the lockdowns, literally. So I was literally, that's why I tell people I had COVID before it was cool, you know. I had COVID before it was the in thing to do. All y'all fucking strap hangers and shit trying to follow my lead. I
Yep.
had COVID long for y'all.
Yeah.
But but no,
Meanwhile, I never fucking caught it. I
yeah.
caught the flu like twice,
Mm.
but I never caught COVID, and I know I didn't catch COVID because I knew the fucking symptoms.
Yeah, yeah, but I had literally every symptom. I was like, this is the weirdest cold I have ever had in my life. But me and my doctor, after it's actually several months. Whenever the COVID jab came out, I ended up on taking one, but I took one because me and my doctor talked about it because that's a conversation that you need to have. It's not a conversation that I have with Fauci or with Biden or with that drunken hussy that was his what was her name? Harris. Kamala Harris. Yeah, it's not some conversation I'm having with those people, okay? It's something I'm going to have with my doctor. We decided between the two of us that I had enough comorbidities that and the risk of the shot was so low that it was it was something I should do. So I took it. I took the jab. It was the two-step one, the one that you had to take two of them like a week apart or 10 days apart. And literally almost exactly 4 weeks from the day I took the second shot, I noticed I had a bit of a runny nose. Now my wife at the time, she still works in healthcare, but she had to take COVID tests anytime she felt a sniffle. Well, she tested for COVID and she tested positive, so I took a test and I tested positive 4 weeks after taking the jab that they said would prevent me from getting COVID. Now, the second time I had COVID, it had almost no effect on me. I had a runny nose for a few days and had some trouble smelling and tasting.
Yeah, but that could have been chalked up to the fucking antibodies you already had from the first time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. It didn't work. So I didn't take any of the follow ups. Yeah. So, but it's things like that that you have to remember. And by that time, like I said, had already had it. We already got into boomers and millennials being pussies. So we'll leave that alone too back
Fucking, you brought up Harris, and I was gonna bring this up during the
then.
fucking segment on voting. You know, I almost, yeah, I completely fucking forgot to vote during
Stick it
that
on me.
election, the Trump versus Harris election.
Mm-hmm.
But when it went by,
Piece of metal in there.
I fucking
Squeeze that
absolutely
out.
knew that it wouldn't have fucking mattered because Trump was gonna fucking win. And you know why I knew Trump was gonna win?
What is that?
The Harris flag. Have you seen the Harris flag?
What's it? A flag with a picture of a bottle of Boone's Farm on it?
No. It's the Gadsden flag, except the snake is being eaten by a cat and it says, I'll tread where I want, honey. First of all, if you call people honey unironically during a fucking argument, you deserve to be punched in the face. And second, of course you're gonna lose the fucking election if you take the flag that's meant to say, government, don't fucking steal my rights, and say, I'm gonna steal your rights.
See, I'd never even seen that flag. I never even heard of it.
I saw it and I
Cool.
fucking immediately was like, yeah, she's losing the election. It was fucking all over fucking Twitter. It was like on the fucking news once or twice. And I was like, why would you do this? It's like, fucking hell. But
You know what we need to do? We need to go back to what we were doing before. I'm gonna start structuring this because I've been sitting here thinking about it. Now you didn't do it because you were just expounding on something that I said. I just realized I looked at my last page of notes, and I've gone back and forth instead of keeping any level of structure. But this is more of a conversation. I like to, and that's one thing I do like about this little pod series or cast or whatever the hell it's called, web series that we do, is the fact that it is kind of impromptu. It's more of a conversation. I like that better. I don't want it structured like film, like Kentucky Fried Movie.
Hmm.
The popcorn you're eating has been pissed in. Film at 11. No, I don't want nothing like that. But
it's not structured. It's not scripted. It's supposed to be like a conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. A little bit of structure.
Well, yeah, would probably be a little bit more helpful. I mean, it's like right now it's me and you bullshitting. You're the producer, and you know that. But if we get an interview, there will be certain things that I would like to talk to a person about, and I don't want to. It's going to be your job to fucking. We'll get one of those shock collars and put it around my ankle, so that way you can zap me every time I run off on a fucking tangent because I do that.
Place.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't get to just do it, dick. But no,
it's just an ankle buzzer, guys. Don't worry about it.
But one thing that kind of got me onto the millennials being lazy shits, and I mean the guy, because that really did dick me up watching a 30 some odd year old man get out there and literally just cry like Nancy Kerrigan. I mean it was, that's why I thought, oh man, that's the first thing I thought. Did one of his parents die? Did something horrible happen? From what I understand, he just had a panic attack and went home. I don't know how to process that. I'm sorry. It's and people you're an emotionally constipated statue. Okay, yeah, but I function in the world. If you allow your emotions to rule you, I don't come to. I mean, literally every day, every day of my life, and this is. Let me get emotional here. I'll get emotional. Every day of my life, I do the absolute worst thing at the beginning of every day that I can think of. The thing that literally pisses me off to no end, that I hate doing more than anything in the world, and that is waking up and getting out of bed. Okay? I love to sleep. Sleep is the greatest thing in the world. I have dreams about sleeping. Okay? Sleep is wonderful. Okay? And the worst fucking thing in the world is actually having to wake up and get out of bed and fucking feet are cold. You got to piss really bad. Yeah, there's nothing about waking up that is good. It's not. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Fuck you. I hate getting out of bed. I love being in bed. I'm laying there next to my baby, and we're all snuggled up and warm under those covers, and suddenly I gotta get up and get out there in the world, and it sucks. Okay, so hey, yeah, life sucks, but that's part of it. Okay, just life sucks. Buy a fucking helmet. Deal with it. Do not allow your emotions to lead you. That is one thing about millennials, and that is the reason that the millennials have started this DSA bullshit. This DSA thing is there has been a socialist or Marxist or whatever the hell party pop its head up. It's been a whack-a-mole thing in the United States since Marx and Engels wrote the fucking bullshit. All they did was basically slap a coat of paint or a new coat of paint on the feudal, excuse me, the feudal system of government, because that's all really, if you look at it, you break it to its bare essence. Uh, uh, the feudal system of serfdom, which is slavery, which slavery is slavery, obviously. So is serfdom, but it is just, if you look at it, it's at its basic, it's Marxism, it's communism, in that power is literally concentrated in the uh, uh, the ruling class, the lords of the manors, the kings, the princes, the dukes, the counts, the viscounts, those people, and people, they own the land and people work under them, and then those people are provided because they provide their physical labor and their production to the upper crust, and then they're allowed to eat and live, and they're, all that shit, which is basically, now they paint it up different. They say, well, in this one we don't have what do you call it, a ruling class. We're all the same. We all control the means of production. But you walk into the Communist Party and our headquarters, some schmuck off the fucking street, and say, okay, well, I have the power, so I can say that. They're like, you're absolutely right. You have the power. You can say this. You see this officer right here? Go with him. He's going to write down your ideas. He throws his arm around you. Come on, comrade, let's talk. Walks you into the next room, and next thing you hear is, "Pah!" Okay, they settled that. That's what it is. There's still a ruling class. But the thing that makes serfdom, communism, and all those the same is the ruling class is set. Okay? It doesn't change. It is set. You it is just another caste system. Socialism, communism. Now they paint it up and make it look pretty. And in that caste system, it's I will say the best part about a caste system of government is that when you have kings and queens, which is a vile and disgusting system to me, but I do have to say, at least these are people who are trained from birth to lead. They are trained from birth to govern. They are trained from birth to to I it's such a hard rule, but they are. It's just so the thought of the system is so vile to me. But in communism, all it is the ruling class made up of the mob of thuggery. Okay, that's one thing they don't have. These are I mean, Stalin was a fucking bank robber and a kidnapper. That's how he made his fucking bones. And he ended up running the country. And you know what? He ran the country in the exact same manner that a bank robber and kidnapper would run a country. Okay. And okay, yeah, the czars weren't much fun. Well, the czars were actually a lot better. They had some bad problems, and I'm not saying they were good, but compared
Better
to,
than fucking terrible is still bad.
yeah, but yeah, even the best shitty is still shitty. That's just the way it is. But that's that. Yeah, if you're a bunch of thugs running the place, and just because you call the people that you're stepping on comrade, and you put in a whole bunch of bullshit about how we're all equal while you're standing on their heads, while you're setting up in a palace in the Kremlin eating caviar and drinking vodka, while they're literally in the fields starving, just because you're calling them comrade and saying, no, there's still a ruling class. So there's no real difference between the the feudal system and the communist system. So it will get stepped on. It's horrible. Yeah, the DSA, they've made some inruns, but they've made inruns strategically. They haven't made inruns overwhelmingly. They've done them very strategically. They've went to deep commie ass blue states, chosen off elections when no one's paying attention, front loaded their people in there, and they probably called in some of their the what is the name of that group? They had two of them. They had the SS and the SA. Well, it's what I call them. The Schutzstaffel, which was BLM, Black Lives Matter. They were the polished version of the stormtroopers, but the Sturmabteilung, which was the brown shirts, the ruffians, that they literally in Germany they paid them in beer and bail money to get them to fight, which was the Sturmabteilung, which after they took power, the SS absorbed the SA. But what are they fucking called?
Antifa.
Antifa. Shit, that's right, Antifa. But I'm sure they went in there and because they're deep blue and because it doesn't require any ID because it's racist because for some reason I can't understand why affluent white female liberals are telling me that black and brown people are
You're
too.
doing the fucking Mike from PA there. Movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are too dumb to get their own IDs. So it's up to the green-haired 300-pound white liberal woman to save all these minorities from themselves. I don't know how they work that out, but somehow they've kept it to where you don't have to have IDs in their areas. So I'm sure the Antifa and Black Lives Matter actually kind of fell apart, but they were really in it for the money. That was their thing. I mean, once those guys came in and terrorized everybody and scared the shit out of everybody and basically embezzled the money from them, they hauled ass. Which was smart on their part instead of
Also because when fucking Biden promised to do meetings with them and then got in office and basically fucking ignored the fact that they even existed.
Well, yeah, it was, but that was about the time the same that the shit was coming out about them. Basically, all the money that they were taking to help minority communities, and all it did was go into buying real estate and cars and shit for their members.
Yeah, and the fucking head of that group has a yacht now.
Yeah. It's just like I said, it was a graft. It was that was a slush fund. That was them. Or sorry, well, graft or grift, you can look at it either way. Because it was supposed to be legitimate. They were grafting off of it. They were taking off of it. A grift is like a con.
A grift is when you pretend to have beliefs you don't have.
Yeah, it's a straight con.
What's the other definition of graft?
Oh, graft is where you take money that's put into a legitimate thing and you siphon off a little bit of it. It's called graft, payola.
I thought that was called laundering.
No, laundering is where you take money that was I gotta fucking know. We're gonna have to have an entire criminal section, which I am unfortunately a little too. But anyhow, no, laundering is where you take like money that you made off of selling drugs or selling guns or money that you made from a robbery or fencing stolen goods. You take that money and you channel it into a cash heavy business or some other intermediary and pretend that is the actual profit of that business. So that way it looks like this money that you got from ill-gotten gains was actually gotten from a legitimate business. That's laundering it. And in doing so, there's what they call spoilage, which is usually a certain percentage of it that the person who's got that, say you give them $1 million, they're going to give you back $950,000, but it's clean $950,000. You know what I'm saying? By it being clean, they get to keep $50,000 of the money, but they've funneled it through their business and made it look like it's clean. You see what I'm saying?
All right, but
that's laundering. Yeah.
Back to what we were doing.
Anyhow, yeah, I got off on. Oh yeah, the DSA, the commies. But the whole commie thing comes up because these are spoiled people. And like I said, there was there's generations of spoiled, and they get spoiled because the people ahead of them were basically hard workers and tried to make it easy on them. I mean, I tried to make it easy on my kids. I didn't do many favors in it, but it turned out all right. I mean, for the most part, there are insufferable moments amongst them, but uh, uh, and I think it is that the millennials who have raised kids, or the boomers, not the boomers, I'm sorry, the Xers who had kids later in life that turned out to be Zers. Those are the older Zers, but the younger Zers tend to be children of millennials and saw how spoiled and shit that their parents were and were probably embarrassed by it. And so they started. That's why they're more efficient to themselves, because all really from what I've seen, the DSA, the commies of today, they're all, every one of them has degrees out the ass. They're all bachelors, masters, some of them have doctorates. But I'm not. We're not talking about, here you stick your finger in my ass and check my prostate, doctor. We're talking about, or crack my chest open and fucking cure my heart problem, doctor. No, we're talking about, has a doctorate in procrastination, or in gender studies or some silly shit. Some doctorate that's not going to do you any good. They basically went to college, realized, ooh shit, college is another place to hide. Mommy and daddy were pissed and wanted me out, but I can still hide in college. Oh, fuck, but it's costing me. Oh, but I can sign this piece of paper. I don't have to pay for it right now. Oh, let's do that. Instant gratification. Oh, I get to sit around and smoke pot for another 3 years. Oh, I get to sit around and smoke pot for another 6 years. Holy shit, I have a doctorate in fucking, in 14th century French poetry.
And smoking pot.
Yeah, and smoking pot. And I'm really, really, really good at Grand Theft Auto. Oh, wait a second. Okay, I gotta leave the dorm now? Okay, well, I gotta go get a job. Well, this degree ought to help me get a job. Oh, yeah, no, this degree ain't helped me get a job. Okay, what's that I got in the mail? Oh, it's my student loan paperwork. 4,000! Holy shit! Somebody's gonna pay for this. It's not gonna be me. Commies of America, and that's how it happened. It's literally that's literally how it happened. They want other people to pay for it. All communists are the same. They don't build anything. The people who do build don't like communism because they don't want it to, all the shit that they worked their asses off for, taken by some asshole who sat around in college for 25 years talking about. That's why it's so popular with academics, because academics just talk theory. They don't ever create anything. That whole adage. Now, I've seen good teachers, but no, most teachers are dog shit people who aren't really trying to do anything but convince the rest of the world that they are as superior as they think they are. uh, but most of them aren't shit. There are a percentage of teachers that are very good and do a very good job, but in my life, I've met a lot of teachers, and very few of them were that great. Most of them were shit. Uh, the ones that are good, thanks, stick in there. Well, I'm rooting for you. I hope you run the show someday and get rid of those commie weirdos and the groomers. There's a lot of groomers that are ending up in schools nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Think about it.
Hell,
Why on earth? What is any? Think about this level of value. If you are an educated person, tell me what the level of value is in speaking sex, sexuality, gender, or any type of permanent medical alteration to a kindergartner, to a first grader, to a fifth grader, to an eighth grader. If it's that important to you, how come it can't? And you say this is something that they're never going to change their mind on. It's permanent. They are this way, so we need to make their bodies this way. Okay, then if it is that way and we need to make their bodies that way, let's do it at 18. Why does a kindergartner have to be spoke to about these things? It's groomers. They're groomers. Yeah. They're all sex perverts.
yeah.
Every damn one of them.
Look up egg theory.
Yeah. Ugh. But I just wanted to get off on that little point there, because there's no way on earth you can tell me that there is any legitimate reason to have a sexual discourse with a 5 or a 6 year old. So
The only fucking people who need to be talking about anything even remotely to do with sexual biology are their fucking parents, and they need to be
yeah.
doing it in a very matter of fact, scientific manner,
Mhm.
in a mature
Well,
environment.
that's the thing when it comes to the commies and the socialists and the weirdos like that. They don't believe that parents have rights. They believe it is the job of the state, just the way it or under serfdom. Under serfdom, you didn't own your kids. And under slavery, you didn't own your kids. The state owned your children. Oh, excuse me. The lord of the manor owned your children, which hence the state. They're just all, but like I said, that when it comes to the left, they're just pissed off because of they lost their fucking slaves, and they're doing everything they can to try to get them back. And that's all communism is another way of enslaving people. It really is. These crazy fucking progressives. Like I said, I can't even consider myself a Democrat anymore. I can't even consider. I don't want to consider myself a Republican. I best way to put it is I started out a middle of the road liberal, and now some my like I said, I started out a middle of the road liberal, about right there, but this was the middle of the road, or this was the middle of the road. Suddenly, the middle of the fucking road's over here, and now I'm a far right wing conservative. My ideals haven't changed; they're all the same. But like I say that a lot. But that is the thing mainly with the commies. They don't build. They overeducate themselves. They sit around talking about how they'd make the world better, and if they were in charge, but they never do. Uh, it reminds me of some people I've known. Uh, yeah, you knew that guy. And yeah. No, no, I'm saying you knew that guy. Yeah, it was like there was at one time there was a guy, a good there's an actor, Steven Seagal, and I'm not gonna bust on Steven Seagal, even though people have gotten to the habit of doing
Enough
that.
fucking people bust on Steven Seagal. We're
Yeah,
not gonna beat a dead horse.
I will say that good for him. Steven Seagal was a successful man who did what he had to do. But I know a man who ran a parallel track to Steven Seagal, literally almost completely parallel. They both studied Aikido. I don't know if Steven Seagal studied Kempo.
Steven Seagal didn't actually study Aikido. He
Oh, he
was a
did.
dropout.
Oh, okay. But and then I didn't know that. But this guy was actually third degree Dan in Aikido, and he also had like a second or third degree in Kenpo karate. Uh, but he went to Japan, and this is what I thought happened with Steven Seagal, because this is something he used to talk about all the time. He went to Japan. Steven Seagal went to Japan. Now he wasn't at the time following him or stalking him. It's just they ran a parallel life and didn't know it. But he went to Japan to after he got his Shodan to get his second and third degree in Japan under the actual masters. And so I was told that's what Steven Seagal did too. But all right, and he worked his ass off in Japan, and then Steven Seagal though came back to the United States, at least from what I was told. And he worked in Hollywood. He worked as a personal trainer. He worked the whole thing was he was in the CIA. He was never in the CIA. No, he was an actor, and he that was something he portrayed it. But anyway, but he worked as a personal trainer. He worked as a security guard. He worked as a bodyguard. He busted his ass, basically wiping the ass of the Hollywood elite until he got his break. Okay, and good on him for doing that. He put in the hard work and got himself to where he was. Uh, what kind of a man he was, anything else about him. I'm not going to sit there and bust on him, because I have a feeling that has a little bit to do with, yeah, he was this way, but it also has a little bit to do with the problem with this other guy, which, because I heard a lot of it out of him, because he went to Japan, busted his ass. He worked as a rickshaw guy for a while. The rickshaw, the guys who basically pull people around. This other guy, I'm not going to mention his name, but he busted his ass and went and got his second and third degree, and he studied Kimpo while he was there, and got his Don here or there, but ended up getting his second and third degree here. But then he came back to Indiana and became a not a bartender, a bouncer at a bar, and sat around and waited for fame to hit him. And this was shortly after the Roadhouse movie came out, and he enjoyed a bit of local celebrity and the fact that he was a martial artist who was not a bartender, a bouncer at the bar, and some chicks liked it and all this kind of shit. But he had a bit of that. But he used to shit talk Steven Seagal all the time. How come I can't understand what he fucking did everything in the fucking world? I did everything he did, except I did this and this too. I'm like, no, you didn't, you lazy prick. You came back to Indiana and waited for fame to smack you in the face like a dead fish. No, he went to Hollywood and busted his ass and probably had to demean himself. I don't know. I don't know if he had any Harvey Weinstein stories, but maybe Harvey Weinstein made him pick up the soap once or twice. I don't know. He was a pervert. But yeah, you had to deal with them sickos and weirdos in Hollywood and whatever demeaning shit they wanted you to do. And he got his way. He did it the hard way. This guy was just like a DSA guy. He went and educated himself, but then he sat around on his ass and waited for the world to hand him fame, and never came. Just like with the DSA people, you become you highly educated and underproductive. It doesn't mean the world's going to jump out and want you for everything. No, what you produce matters.
You gotta fucking work for
Yeah.
everything.
If you don't produce, nobody's going to hand it to you just because you went to Harvard for 35 fucking years. Nobody gives a shit. Okay? And your bullshit degrees don't matter much. Get good engineering degrees, good medical degrees, things that we need in this world. We don't need another person with purple hair waving their fucking bingo arms screaming racist, racist, racist. Because of their gender studies degrees.
Yeah.
We need engineers. We need people who build roads. We need people who help the sick. I hate to say it, and I might choke and die trying to say it, but we need lawyers. Oh, yes, we do even need lawyers. Okay.
Just as long as you're not, just
Skin
as
crawl.
long as you're not another fucking Jack Thompson.
I don't know. If you're gonna give me a lawyer, give me Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a piece of shit, you might as well be the biggest piece of shit in the world.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a piece of shit lawyer, be Saul Goodman. Don't be fucking Jack Thompson. Don't try to fucking drag shit into cases and fucking lose all your cases because you're trying to fucking take some fucking dickhead who robbed a CVS for a few extra fucking pennies and be like, oh, he only robbed that CVS because of Grand Theft Auto. That game, that
was one of your guys. Yeah, you get going against your game shit. Yeah, he's
like,
passionate about that, but he's got. I never really got into the gaming scene, but he knows a lot more about that than I do.
Yeah,
which is why he's producing this shit.
I'm gonna just to give a brief idea who Jack Thompson is. Jack Thompson was basically the worst fucking lawyer to ever exist. That guy, his entire fucking career existed around trying to weasel his way into every legal case in that he could and try and fucking blame it on video games. He was the fucking lawyer who was all over Fox News when the fucking Columbine shit happened.
Okay.
Some guy fucking stole a fucking car in some small town in like Illinois, and he tried blaming that on GTA. Basically, he eventually got fucking disbarred because people were sick of fucking having to deal with him.
Well, no, he probably did something slimy. Yeah,
he did, and it was related to that. He kept fucking threatening other lawyers because they kept fucking opposing him.
Well, it's like CPL, Avenatti, that guy, and the love of him was an incredible thing too. I couldn't believe the left did that shit. They fell in love with this guy because he was a blackmailer. That one dim-witted stooge on CNN was talking about him as presidential material because he blackmailed somebody. And you know how I know it was blackmail? Because what he did to Trump, he turned around and tried to do to Nike. Difference is Trump, orange man bad, Nike, good sneakers. Nobody hated. Oh no, I don't wear Nikes. I don't wear things made by slaves.
Oh.
But the difference being that Orange Man Bad was so prevalent, and it still is amongst a lot of the left. Some of them have calmed down on it; they're seeing it, but it was so pervasive, so crazy with them that he was literally a blackmailer. He was the middleman, the second story man, if you will, in a blackmail conspiracy where somebody okay banged a porn star who's I mean, yes, she had a great rack on her, but I've seen a few interviews nuttier than squirrel turds. I mean, yeah, I would definitely, if I ever had anything to do with that woman, would definitely pay her to just go the fuck away because of the nutsiness of her. I mean, she's fucking crazy. Anyhow, but Avenatti arranged for her to be given payola. Now they did it under the guise of an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, but it was an after-the-fact NDA that he was basically Avenatti was doing that whole yeah, you got a nice store here. Yeah, it'd be a shame if the stove stopped working and it burned down. Maybe you ought to buy insurance from me. We'll make sure that don't happen. That was basically the setup. And how do you know this? Because Avenatti did the exact same thing to Nike that he did to Trump. And what happened? Nike pressed charges, and he was prosecuted. Okay, yeah. Trump just wanted to go away.
But yeah, fucking yeah, with fucking what's it with Jack Thompson, he got disbarred because like partially, yeah, it was because people were fucking sick of him weaseling his way into every fucking legal case he could find.
Mm.
And also it was because he kept fucking his entire tactic for opposing other people was you shut up or I'll beat you up, or you shut up, you're gay, you're not allowed to speak, or you shut
Yeah.
up, you're a woman, you're not allowed to speak. And that's what got him fucking disbarred.
Well, yeah, shit like that you can't pull if you're a
Yeah.
lawyer. Yeah.
But yeah, nowadays he's like speaking. There was one really fucking funny thing he did was it was a really fucking out of character moment for him.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Fox News ran their fucking story on the Mass Effect game when it came out, they tried fucking saying the game was some porn simulator, but like their research was so fucking bad that even Jack Thompson went on fucking air and lambasted Fox News for their lack of journalistic integrity because everything about that fucking segment was complete fucking malarkey.
Mm-hmm.
But, moving on.
Okay. Well, I really don't have much more. I do want to mention again Cleveland Kitchen. Excellent products. Excellent products. Uh, Wonderful kimchi. Wonderful sauerkraut is absolutely. Jesus, their pickles are wonderful. Everything about them is good. Cleveland Kitchen, and like I said, we don't get now. They want to give me some money. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd take it in kimchi. I'd take trade in
do
kimchi.
This with your hands.
Yeah. I'd take trade in kimchi. But good product, damn good product. Enjoy it. Anything basically made by Manischewitz is a good product, but that's mainly for Jews, and they know that. That's good stuff. As far as shows, tires with Shane Gillis, really fucking good, hilarious. Their new season. I was gonna mention another part. It was a dramatic series, but the new season of Tires just dropped here recently, and I've been watching it. So yeah, but they're only a half hour long, so I've got to be careful. I don't want to watch too many too fast. But anyway, Tires. It's on
New episode of my show just came out.
Netflix. Netflix, yeah, I believe Netflix or Hulu? Netflix. I think it's Netflix. I don't know. I get it from a different streaming
Hey, mention
service,
that a
but
few more times and we'll get boost in the algorithm.
Netflix, 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 Hulu, Netflix, Hulu, Netflix.
That's
I
how
don't
you
know.
get into the algorithm. The fucking AI actually does scan if you fucking mention
Hold
Hulu, Disney Plus, Tubi, fucking McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have so much integrity.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm a whore. Yeah, yeah. Shit. They hook me up. I might let them work that ass a little. I don't know. Shit.
All right.
Anything where I ain't got to go to work every fucking day. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Anyway, you
Yeah.
mentioned shows. Fucking.
You got a show? Mention it. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I mean, shit. Fucking. I don't have anything to mention that's not fucking mainstream. Thousand Year Blood War has been airing lately, which that's an anime. If you're not fucking into anime, you're not gonna fucking like Thousand Year Blood War. And even then, you still have to watch. Be careful there, fucking don't want the mic to fuck up again.
No, it's too good.
But like, yeah, fucking that's the continuation of the anime Bleach, which people are who don't know shit about anime are like, who the fuck names their fucking show after a cleaning product? It's because the fucking writer of the show, or it's manga, I guess, which I can't fucking reach it, but a manga is basically a Japanese comic book. That's what it starts out as. Eventually, it gets popular enough. It gets animated, turned into an anime, Japanese cartoons. Um, you gotta watch Bleach before you watch Thousand Year Blood War. And the problem with Bleach is there's so much fucking filler, just shit that has nothing to do with the actual plot that it's fucking almost impossible to watch. It literally took me an entire year just to finish that fucking show. And it wasn't because of how long it was. It was because I got fucking sick of watching filler.
Yeah, like me with uh
But if you can stomach your way through Bleach, and if you can find a decent list of what's filler to skip, which I'd still recommend watching like the filler, because even if most of it's awful, there is some of it that's good. But if you can get your way through Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War has been so fucking good. It's on Hulu, and it's on Disney Plus. It's fucking great.
so it's like I just remember Breaking Bad. It was like me with Breaking Bad. It was terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. It was terrible. They had some really insufferable characters that I couldn't tolerate. But once, yeah, but once Better Call Saul came on, which was afterwards, it actually got me through the original. So yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Bleach isn't bad. It's just that there's too much fucking filler, which, again, that's just extra episodes they add in if they're like running in tandem with the fucking manga.
Well, no, Breaking Bad wasn't bad. It wasn't. It wasn't because of bad writing or anything. It was just there were a couple of people who played characters that didn't fit them, and you can see that in an actor. There are some characters that actors should not play. They're good in other things, but they get one role and you think, God, this is just a stinker. But they just it's something that they weren't made for. It's not something that they can psychologically put themselves in. So but yeah, there were a couple of characters in there that were the two sisters that were married to Walter and Uncle Hank. Now I loved Uncle Hank. Walter was pretty good, but the two sisters were just insufferable. And Jesse Pinkman was the guy who played him. It was just not a fit. Okay, it was such a struggle. He was Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen him in several other things, and when he did that movie El Camino, where his character, and later in later episodes as his character evolved, it became a better fit. But him in the beginning was so horrible because he was you could tell he was there was a lot deeper water than the shallow puddle of a character that was, and it wasn't a good fit for him. But I mean that character in the beginning was just so terrible. Uh, it just yeah. But yeah, like you're saying, it's you got to get through the bad sometimes and then get to something good. Yeah.
But the difference is like Better Call Saul, you can watch that separate from Breaking Bad. With Thousand Year Blood War, if you don't watch Bleach or if you don't read through Bleach, you're gonna be super fucking confused because it's a continuation of the series. It's basically the same fucking series, but it's the last few chapters. The original run of the Bleach anime ended in like 2016, and then Thousand Year Blood War started airing like got like we're in season 4 now, so only a couple years ago.
Well, we're gonna cut this short because I gotta rock a piss.
Yeah, cut
But
this an hour short.
I do want to say another one since we were just talking about it. Bob Odenkirk, good actor, pretty liberal cat, but good actor. He doesn't really try to involve his politics, and that's one thing I do appreciate about him. Whether you're left or right, I don't want your fucking politics in my fucking movies. I don't need your fucking bullshit and virtue signaling in my movies. I'm there to escape from the world, not be or fucking pounded in the head by it.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. You keep your bullshit out of the movies. You just make the movies about fiction and about uh, uh, good morals. The good guy, the good guy beats the bad guy. The hero slays the dragon, and not. I don't care if the dragon identifies as a crippled black lesbian. Fuck the dragon. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Fuck the dragon. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah. Somebody holds his head, but. No, no, just keep your shit out of there. But it's something, a good movie that he was just in, normal, weird movie, but really good. It was really, it was. I saw Bob Odenkirk, figured, give it a watch, and it was good. It was actually pretty damn hilarious. It was just about as good as Nobody was, and Nobody too. But yeah, it was a pretty damn good movie. So give him a check. Got anything else there, Producer Jeeves?
Yeah, not really.
Not really. I know I rambled on this one, but give you a little bit more here to listen to because it's been a while since we did one, and like I said, there were, and I cut out 2/3 of the shit I was going to talk about. We'll be a little bit better structured next time, like we normally are. But I had so much shit to add in there. I had so much shit to add in there, things that didn't matter anymore that could have mattered, but like I said, yeah. Uh, and getting into the whole government slush fund thing, that's gonna be crazy. That we could do a 4 hour segment every day uh on fucking payola and illegal shit that the government does that but we could do a 4 hour segment every day for 3 months before we got through all the end of that bullshit. Crooked as them some bitches are, fucking politicians, man. Crooked as a barrel of snakes. And we'll get into it a little bit at a time, but I ain't gonna do it all at once. I'd be old by the time I got up. But anyway, Producer Jeeves. This is Joe Perry, the Hebrew Hillbilly. Like I say, love your family. We got our puppy this week. Our old dog died. She was an old girl, died last January, and we finally got another dog today, or not today, but this weekend, and she was a sweet little girl. She is a sweet little girl. We're in the process of potty training, and uh, just got that little addition to the family because family is everything. That's your blood. Love your family, love your friends, help your community. That's God's purpose. Every Jew knows that that is our purpose on earth, is to try to create the kingdom of heaven on earth. Uh, for all of the rest of you out there, God bless you and shalom.